Welcome to my review of Super Monkey Ball for the Gamecube. And I believe this was on some other platforms as well, if I remember right. Though I remember the Gamecube version seemed to be the best version to play because the analog stick on the original Gamecube controller is pretty good as far as not having a lot of dead zones, so you get a pretty responsive movement. And this is the kind of game where you really want that. Since in this game, you're not actually controlling your character directly, even though it seems like you are. You're actually tilting the playfield. So whenever you move your stick, you're tilting the playfield in various directions, and that affects the physics of how how your character rolls. So there's a lot of skill and nuance to the gameplay, and you really, you definitely want the most precise input you can get for this game. You don't want to play on a console that has a controller that is a little too loose and not as responsive as far as the dead zone goes. I've heard a lot of expert players of this game do complain about that and say that the GameCube controller is one of the best ones to use for this game and prefer that version. Now, I'm not an expert player of the game by any means. All I did was complete the advanced mode, and I made a tutorial on that, which I'll post a link to in the description of this video. I'll probably have the completion time, however long the game took me to complete, listed there if I do have that. With this game, I did go through beginner mode first, and I kind of jumped around, so I'm not sure if I have an accurate completion time, but I may. I'll just have to check. But either way, this is a game that you can spend, hundreds of hours on, depending how far you want to go with it. Now, to beat advanced mode, definitely challenging. Beginner mode is very easy, but it kind of gives you a general idea of the control. And then when you get to advanced mode, it gets quite challenging. It's a nice challenge, definitely. And but it's not brutal. I didn't find it to be brutally difficult on advanced. You do have limited continues from what I remember. But you may be able to earn more. I don't remember exactly how that worked because it's been a while since I played. But I believe you have limited continues. And you can start on beginner, advanced, or expert modes. And each mode comes complete with an ending. So if you beat beginner mode, you do get an ending with credits and everything. So you do technically, I would say you've beaten the game on beginner if you complete beginner. Same with advanced or expert, or even now I'm not sure about the master difficulty. That's unlocked. I think you have to beat expert mode without using any continues or some crazy shit, and you'll get master. When I played expert, it was so hard I couldn't even beat some of the first few levels. I just didn't have the precision to go on some of those really narrow fucking paths that you have to try to maneuver onto. It's definitely a skill I haven't developed for this game. So it seems like that would take me a long fucking time to get down. I just didn't know exactly how to even approach that. But I have played some other games in the series, but of course this one gets extremely difficult. So if you're up to the challenge, it definitely offers that. Now, I can't review this game as an expert and give a lot of criticisms on the controls and stuff for the more, advanced stages and things like that. I mean, now, normally, if I have beaten a game and actually beaten, let's say, the hardest difficulty, because a lot of times I do extreme modes in games, had I completed that, I could have given a better analysis of the controls overall and everything for that. For the harder stages where you really have to do some precise maneuvering. So I can't really review the game like that, from that perspective. But I can review it just as someone who played the game and enjoyed it a lot, had a lot of fun with it, and I did complete, as I said, up to the advanced mode. And that was kind of like my limit as far as I got with this game. I wouldn't mind going back to it and resuming my save and working on expert again. But yeah, it's an awesome game. I believe the characters that you select, I don't think it changes the control in this game. Later games, there were different control attributes like speed and things like that to the different monkeys. I don't think this game had that. I beat this a few years ago, so it's a little hazy for me, but I know this game pretty well, as I've also played different versions of it. But this game, it's a great game. Awesome game for the GameCube. And I would give it an 8.5 out of 10. I think it's a great game. I did have some issues with some of the controls later on, but I think that was just more a matter of my own skill limitations. For me to really rate the game really well and give a good rating, I would really have to beat those expert stages, maybe even the master stages. I would say at least expert to give a really good review of the game, real thorough review. But I'll tell you one thing, it takes a lot of fucking balls to, takes a lot of fucking balls. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any questions.